do it live part, I just stop at fuck it.
Yeah. Do we have anybody waiting for us as we got in?
Well, there's 2 on. They probably left because I was late because I had to go get a drink.
Yeah, sometimes you just choose not to show up on live chats.
Yeah, I'm not needed.
Reed.
All right.
In there first.
Chat overlay. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, that fills the screen nice.
Because then I can go back off of. Yep, there we go. Perfect. All right. Ethan Green, hello, motherfucker. Ain't seen
Hello,
you in
sir.
a row.
Oh, look at that little banner on the bottom now too.
So yeah, I found 2 things today. We're gonna try the other one in a minute. All right, now I got that chat working up in that window. Perfect. Today's live chat brought to you by. This is gonna be a problem because I'm not sure how the company pronounces their name. Well, it's brought to you by Axle Advanced, AXL maybe. I don't know how they pronounce it. Makers of this awesome Tegris pull-out tray. They just showed up today and they're pretty slick. It is a piece of Tegris with a bunch of holes in it, and it folds together. And then it comes with a bunch of shot cord and some red cord, and it's for like a medical pull-out tray if you're running a dangler instead of like a pull-out tray for in a. It can go sideways or up and down. You just tie the handle whichever way you want, and then you tie the shot cord through the holes to make it hold whatever you like. I've always run like the pull-out trays that fit in the double or triple M4 pouches that are like Cordura with elastic sewed on them. So whoever designed them for whatever medical gear they wanted in there, and then it didn't fit a lot of other stuff. And I started running danglers in both my chest rig and my plate carrier, so I thought maybe these would be the ticket, and sure enough, they're the ticket. I'll show you one stocked up here later when we get into the question and answer period. Because there's an IFAC question, and I have one stocked and ready to show. But all right.
Not to mention the fact that I know you, and you will make any excuse possible to add more Tegris to whatever it is that you're doing.
I want a whole like a fucking Tegris holster and a Tegris magazines, and
I wonder, can you make a holster out of Tegris? Does it mold?
I don't know. I know that it creases when you bend it. I don't know how robust it is to like holding shape. Might be able to find out.
It lasers well.
It does laser. My little 2-watt laser can cut it. Only takes 9 passes at like 600 millimeters a minute. Tim Larson, hello. Javier, hello. Crystal, my favorite moderator.
Me too.
Oh, Zach is in the house. Patriot Training, hello, sir.
Oh, Buddy's here. Hello, sir.
Eli's lost in the woods. My favorite place to be, lost in the woods. All right, so we got our sponsor out of the way. Funny how like you can become the sponsor of a live chat just by sending me something.
Yeah,
preferably something I want, but let's see. Announcements. Big announcement.
All right, the big one.
We'll go with the little one first.
Oh, is there a little one too?
Yes, it was announced last week, but I'll keep reminding it. First Wave Holsters is donating our second quarter giveaway. It is be an instructor holster in Rhodesian brushstroke camouflage.
Rhodesian.
For any of the whole pistols that holster is available in, you just get it in the cool color. Tim Larson's going to send a thing to be the sponsor. It can't be like a pair of used underwear or anything. Like only new.
There's markets out there for everything.
Rhodey.
The Rhodesian.
Oh, yes. I've seen pictures of the Rhodesian Kydex. Haven't seen any gear made in it.
Yeah, Rhodesian's pretty sweet.
It is. First time I saw it was in the probably like 89 or so. And like at a paintball field when I was in high school. So I'd have been in like 9th grade. And I was like, man, that shit looks stupid. And then it worked pretty well where they were playing. I was like, oh, it's pretty good. All right, so that was the little announcement. I guess we got a big one too, huh?
Well, yeah, I guess we should probably tell people why I'm not there.
Oh yeah,
because I was supposed to be an in-studio guest.
That's right.
Am I a special guest anymore? I'm kind of turning more into like a regular.
A regular guest. All right. Well, what if we do? I bet you I can do this. Save. We'll show it again. How about that?
What'd I miss? I wasn't paying attention.
I changed the banner.
Oh, co-host.
Special co-host.
Special co-host. Did you know what that thing is called in the news world?
The banner or the special co-host?
The banner.
Oh, no.
I think it's called a chyron.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. I figured you'd like that term.
I do. I'll start using it. Every time I talk about the little bit of video I do after the credits in my YouTube videos, that's called a stinger. And I'm like, yeah, you guys just watch for the stingers. And everyone's like, oh, you mean like the jokes? I'm like, no, the stinger, the thing after the credits.
Like they do in Marvel movies.
Yeah. They made it popular. I made it funny. Okay, I didn't even make it that funny, but Tom, I am pissed at you because Tom Hollaby, I guess I've only read his name and not heard someone pronounce it, but he scheduled a class that I wanted to go to in Texas while I'm going to be in Texas, but I'm going to be on the other side of Texas teaching a class the same weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he had moved it forward a weekend, like I'd have stayed in Texas for an extra week and went to it. But no, he didn't check my personal schedule.
Right.
He's like Jerry and Jay. Like, I'll just schedule shit when you're busy.
Yeah, they're very inconsiderate that way.
Yeah, very much so.
John, hello, sir. Well, we should probably make the announcement then, right?
I was going to let you make the announcement. I've made all the announcements so far.
Oh, that's true. I guess I have.
What was your decision?
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah,
I think I called it that you called it.
Yeah, but just saying a thing doesn't make it true. Like, it's not like you could just declare the word bankruptcy and then you have bankruptcy, right? Like, it's
if you declare it first. Yeah, that's how that
works. So for anybody interested, which, I mean, why would anybody be interested in whether or not we're attending the National Rifle Association annual meeting? The plan was we were going to be going down there as Bulletin and as Tremis Dynamics. We're going to check it out like we did for SHOT Show, try and meet some cool people, do all the cool stuff, check out the cool town known as Indianapolis. But as of today, we have made the decision that it's just not worth it. I wish I had a better, reasoning behind that. I wish there was, a principled stance that I could be like, oh, we're planting a flag until Wayne LaPierre gets ousted from the NRA. We're not going. No, it's just, it's a dud. It's that, I mean, it seemed like it was just turning into a huge dud this year. Midwest Industries isn't going to be there. A bunch of our other friends are going there. I was running into Curtis Hallstrom from the VSO Gun Channel at these types of things. He's not going to be there.
His is a principled stance.
And his is a principled stance. I'm jealous of his principled stance. Ours is do we really want to drive all the way out to Indiana?
2 weeks in a row?
2 weeks in a row.
because we're going back out next week, the two of us and the wives, for a wedding. And so Mike says to me yesterday, "Hey, if Midwest isn't going and to NRA," and I said, "No, never again." And I said, "I'll tell you the whole story when we're driving," which now I'll just have to tell him at some other time, and it won't be here live. And which include me in that he was looking through the vendors, which I had not done yet because that's been a super hectic couple of weeks for me. And so I looked at the vendors today while I was doing my laundry because I hadn't started packing yet. And they have a little on the app, like you can put stars beside the ones you want. So I'm going through them and going, man, it's kind of weak. And when it's all done, I click the tab to show just the ones I had starred. And all of them that I had starred, I had stopped and spent time with either at SHOT Show in January or the Great American Outdoor Show in February. There was nobody new on my list. So I was like, oh, I'm going to drive like 10 hours. We're going to leave at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
To see people that I literally just saw. And like I got friends in Indy. I was going to crash at Ian's house. I can see Ian next week. Going to see Zach next week, but I saw Zach like 3 weeks ago on my way to Texas. I know you haven't, Mike, but I've recently seen him.
Yeah, there's no way you can ever get enough Zach. Just saying.
That's true. So we just said, fuck it. Why go? Yeah, why go? And then Mike said, that's it. I'm canceling it.
I did say the words that both of us were wanting to say for 2 days.
Well, I didn't really want to say it yesterday because I hadn't informed myself yet that I was just trying to arrange when we were going to go and make it the most convenient for me. And then hopefully it was convenient for you. And it wasn't until today I went, whoa, I'm trying to make this convenient. And there's no reason to go that far for so little.
Yeah, it's so funny because like now that seeing what it was like at SHOT Show, which I'm planning on going every year because that shit was awesome. But like the hype and the things leading up to it and the announcements and the product releases and the people that are there, it's way more. I mean, I hate to be like nickels and cents about, or dollars and cents about it, but it's like it costs a lot of money to go like travel across the country to these events. And yeah, we were doing it on the cheap or as much as possible, but like, yeah, you have to weigh that against it too. Is like, what's the outcome from this from a business perspective? And it's just rough, especially for something like this where it's like, man, the NRA has really been lackluster. Like they don't really seem to be having anything interesting about it. I think the only promotional thing that I even saw about this was, hey, look, former President Trump is going to be there, which is really just something that makes me not want to be there.
Yeah, I have no care for that whatsoever.
Like, regardless of the politics, just the fact that a former president and like there's going to be Secret Service shit that you have to deal with and like extra security areas, probably. I don't want to deal with any of that shit.
At a previous NRA, I ran into Trump Jr., like literally ran into him. Well, I was stationary. He ran into me, but he was obviously a man on the move and he was rounding a corner a little tighter than he should have. Like the apex, I was in the apex of his corner, I guess. And like his left arm hooked the back of my pistol and like started to spin me around. And I was like, hey, I wonder if all the Secret Service guys know that the first son just touched my gun. He was motionary.
In motion.
So yeah, Zach's going to go see the experience. I wasn't even sure if Dave was going to be there because Dave is no longer associated with SDS Imports.
What?
Yeah, as of like the first of the month.
Wow. Interesting.
I've known for longer than that, but I was like, oh well, now I don't even have Dave to go see. But then I see today that Dave's like, I'm going to go make an appearance.
I just saw that too. That's crazy. We just hung out with all of them at Shot.
Yep.
Yes, and Tysus.
Colt says that Trump Jr. was moving his fucking feet. I didn't even have to tell him. I should have yelled. I should have yelled, no, thank you.
Javier, I would agree with you, sir. I have not been a life member as long as you have, but yeah, he needs to get the fuck out. Like a lot of people, like they need to clear house totally at whatever the old guard is at the NRA. I don't even know all that much about it. Like I try not to get too wrapped up in the politics of it, even though it basically is all politics now. But it's done. It's gone. Like, what has the NRA done for us? Nothing. Like in the last 5 years. And even before that, they were pretty lackluster at doing anything about stuff.
Sometimes it was really bad. Like there were times that NRA board directors who were also sitting congressmen voted for things like the assault weapons ban.
Yeah, and I would say that at least they were mildly successful in what they were doing because you heard from them every once in a while. Literally the only time I've even seen the letters NRA in the last 5 years was on the copious amounts of mail that comes to my house with like endowment membership offers, which immediately go right in the trash. I've heard the letters when they call me once a month saying, hey, would you like to donate more? No. And the class that I took, which was absolute garbage. Like I took the pistol instructor course. And don't get me wrong, I am we're both NRA certified instructors because I know I don't want to say it too loud, but like that's what states and things recognize. That's what insurance recognizes as like a legitimate instructor course, as legitimate. But like that's literally the only experiences I've had with the NRA in the last 5 years, and all of them were pretty terrible. Like outdated by 30 years.
Or more.
Reed, yeah, we need to compare notes, sir, on your experience with that.
Somewhere on my YouTube channel, there's a video. I did a video AAR of my pistol instructor course. It was not. I guess it was politically correct. I didn't name names or any of that kind of stuff, but it was not flattering for sure.
Zach, I wouldn't even classify it as cop training. I would say that the rifle merit badge class that I took, or the rifle merit badge I took when I was like 11 years old in the Scouts, was probably more forward thinking than the fuddiness that was the NRA pistol instructor certification. Like, hey, what are the basic rules of firearm safety? Well, let me list out like 19 of them.
Because I'll remember all those.
Sure. Number one being, I think the one they stressed the most was keep your gun unloaded until you're ready to use it. Ceasefire.
Yep, I'll have none of that.
None.
If the gun is functioning and is zeroed, it is ready for use, so I should keep it loaded.
Yeah.
Not a popular stance in the NRA instructor world.
Tim, hello, sir. Tim Zostek's a good friend of mine from my old days working at Boy Scout camp.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Did you warn him?
I'm not as squeaky clean as I used to be. I'm now a radical on the right because I believe in freedom.
Oh yeah, what are the words now? Red pill, LARPing, based. Those are all red flags for extremism.
Yes. What was it a couple of years ago? Was it balloon, but igloo, boogaloo,
Boogaloo, yes.
boogaloo,
Boogaloo.
the electric boogaloo or something?
Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah. What the funny part is, like the dudes on our side of the I hate to even classify guys like us as having a side of the fence because we're really like, hey, we're pretty central. Like none of us are extremist in any terms, but like we don't do ourselves any favors because we take all those terms and then we turn them into memes and then we use them all the time. Like I purposely got a Hawaiian shirt just because I thought it was funny that like people were like, oh, the boogaloo, and then apparently Hawaiian shirts were a thing for the boogaloo or whatever, and like I'm like, I don't care about either one, but I just think it's funny that there's a thing that involves Hawaiian shirts, so I'm gonna, I'll take any excuse to wear a Hawaiian shirt. Florida has permitless carry July 1st. Glad I got a Florida permit in time, I guess, if they're gonna get rid of those.
I think they're keeping the permits.
Probably. They usually let you just carry, and then you can still get a concealed carry permit for whatever reason.
For reciprocity reasons.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What if you LARP about based red pills? That's going deep into the matrix there, John.
Like, what if you divide by 0?
Oh.
Well, watch soon. That'll be on their list of red flag words.
0?
Divide by 0.
Divide by 0. Maybe you could start a trend, Gary.
That'll be our new thing. Remember, you heard it here first on April 12th Liveshat. The new code word for something is to divide by 0. Don't ask me what it means because it doesn't matter. We're gonna start the trend.
Yeah, we'll create a shirt. It's like a fraction 0 over 0.
Like everybody should have comms and night vision, and a group of like-minded individuals in case they need to divide by 0.
Yeah. The sign for resistor in electrical work is considered extremist.
Well, what's that sign? I know there is literally no way for Tom to share that sign in this chat.
Is it like a Z with a line through it or something? Now I'm curious. Adam Hall, hello, sir.
Images. I'm doing an image search. Symbol.
While you're doing that, I'll
this guy.
Scan through some of these.
Save image as. Because now I betcha, because I have skills and stuff. Overlay. Downloads.
Oh, you got to share it?
I can.
Oh.
All right. Prepare to be red flagged.
Hey, man, this is YouTube. You never know.
Oh. There it is.
Oh, yeah, it is like it's a squiggly line thing. That's extremist now?
Well, you're a resistor.
Oh, I get it.
I'm tracking. Uh-oh. Mike's face froze. At least it looks like it froze to me. I putting the overlay. I'll put the overlay back. How about that?
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you fine, yeah.
Well, let me try and turn my camera off and back on.
Still better connection than Zach had. Speaking of Zach, while Mike is gone, I'm going to point out that Zach, this Sunday, since now we won't be driving back from Indianapolis, we can watch and participate in Zach's online seminar on the new hall shooting. And if you're interested on where you can go find it, I think up there in the corner is a QR code that will take you right to Zach's class. And I'll even put a link in the captions.
And it's on Bulletin, too, if anybody's looking for it.
Perfect. Yes, it is. Indeed, it is.
Zach is actually has one of the main points that I'm trying to do for an update on my next round of stuff for the website. He's like, "Hey man, is there a way to make things online events?" I'm like, "No, but there will be, because
That's a fucking great idea.
yeah, because of you're the one that's like, hey, I need an online event thing. I'll make it happen, bro."
You know what's strange? It never dawned on me. And you and I talked about Bulletin for months before it went live. Like, you bounced a ton of ideas off of me. And I had maybe one or two minor things that I suggested, and that wasn't one of them. And I've done online stuff before, and it didn't hit me. Maybe it was because after that 2-year stretch of the Wuhan, I wanted nothing to do with a fucking Zoom meeting or Google Meet ever again.
So true. Oh, that's cool. You got a QR code for the class up on the screen.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the other thing I found
Nice.
that I could do. And there's even something else. So for the duration of the Liveshat, I decided to do a sale on the fish classes in Ohio.
Oh.
I randomly picked them out of the fucking blue to see if this would work. And I can do this. I don't know if I can have all this shit up at once, though. Like, at some point, it might like overload the system. Compact. Ruh-roh. Where did it go?
While you're doing that, I just want to commend. Mike Kumler. I don't know if we ever got a chance to meet, but yes, Trogdor burninating the peasants. I love Trogdor. Zach says he will post the meeting link in the Facebook group for the Newhall class once he can figure out how. Yeah, Zach definitely falls into that archetype, the trainer archetype.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
He tries a lot harder than others, though. I got to give him that.
So apparently, when I was putting in, I clicked something and erased the other thing that I wanted to do. So I guess I fucked it up. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. I had it all set up too. Now I feel like such a putz. There we go. Let's add that. Next. Perfect. So, I'm
looking through some of these comments here. Javier, the more you carry and shoot the 365 platform, the more you love it. I agree. However, man, the 365 380 is a nice gun too, you said. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's great to shoot. Like anything, like a 22 is great to shoot. But 380 just isn't a fighting gun.
No. And I don't, the problem with it in the 365, and I hate to say this, is it's still kind of big. So it's not really like small enough that I would want to go to a 380.
Right.
Or like a deep concealment type gun, because it's still big.
Yeah, like there's a place in the world for a 380 or a snub nose revolver or something along those lines. But
which is actually one of the questions tonight. I don't know if you looked at the Google document with the Liveshat, but there is a list. There are like fucking 15 questions in it.
No, I forgot that there was a live sheet for the Liveshat.
Ooh, I like it. A live sheet. All right, now I got this thing figured out, and we'll show the sale link. Cuts out the chat.
Oh,
but there it is. It's $100 off if you do both days. Normally it's $60 off if you do both days. So you can get fish 1 and 2 for $500, or add a Blackbeard and it's $700. Where normally it was $540 or $740 for both days and a Blackbeard.
Well, I mean, like, you know what you should do? You should flash it up now. It's gone. Look at that.
I did. It needs to go back to chat. There, chat overlay. I'm figuring all this out.
Yeah, you get your chances, but it's not going to be up there all the time. You got to be quick at it for your $100 off.
All right, there we go. Block 47 to go. I don't even know which fucking block the 47 is. I've given up on them. Don't care. There's the 48 and then a bunch of other shit.
I still like Glocks. I'm just not as extremist as you are.
I wish someone would send me a 48.
Which one's is that the single stack
9? The longer slide than the 43X. All right, so I threw the sale thing up. I've given you every trick I've seen so far this Liveshat.
Defiant makes 380, yes. And if I was going to run 380, that's who I would buy it from.
I just swapped out my Lehigh Defense 380 for Defiant 380.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I don't do this often. Well, I'm kind of new to this world of being, I hate to use this term, like an influencer. But
you're only an influencer if somebody is influenced.
That's true. That's true. I don't think I know how this works correctly because I think I tried influencing the wrong person. I think they want you to influence like the audiences rather than I called up or I texted Pete at Defiant. I was like, hey man, so Gary and I were chatting about New Jersey stuff, and like I want to do some New Jersey videos, but I don't want to use ammo that's like anything but yours. But apparently New Jersey made some rules that are fucking stupid, and they won't allow anybody to carry in New Jersey without like, with hollow point ammunition. So I'm like, do you make or can you make something that's like the little polymer plug type thing, like a critical defense type of thing? He's like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I'll take care of that someday. Which totally sounded like it was not anywhere near the high priority list. And then I was like, can I just take a plastic plug and then like glue that shit into your ammo?
That's what I intend to do.
Yeah.
I have a handful of Hornady critical something, the shit with the red plug in it. I'm just going to spread the fucking bullet apart, take that little plug out and glue it in, and at least make an Instagram post about it.
Yeah. So the bug has been put in the ear of Defiant of, hey, maybe there should be some sort of like, expanding non-hollow point. Yeah, Crystal, I'm sure you're shocked that New Jersey makes stupid rules.
So speaking of 380, we might as well go right to the one question that I have here. Top choices for an underwear gun for, I think this part was being a little sarcastic, high-speed, non-permissive operations.
Ooh.
So I think somebody's looking for a crotch gun. And I have one, it's only one recommendation based on size, and that is a Ruger LCP, or possibly the Kel-Tec that it was basically copied off of. But the Kel-Tec, they both hold 6 rounds. With the Kel-Tec, 3 of them will fire at least. So there is an advantage to the Ruger. And I would carry that in a smart carry. That'd be my ticket. I would
tend to agree. However, I'm lucky because that like different size guns are going to work different on different people. I've never needed anything smaller than really a 365, like the smallest version of that, the 10 round with the short slide. Yep. It like, I guess I have more space in the crotch than others because that thing has always fit where I needed it to go, not in the keister.
No, people always say, "Oh, you put that in a prism wallet?" Man, I don't know what they put in there on the regular that they think any gun would fit in it, but
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be different for everyone. I'm sure there's people out there that are like, well, I can't fit anything other than like a 22 Derringer or some shit like that. A very small person.
Ruger makes the LCP Max, double the bullet, same size as the LCP. Now, is it the same size as the LCP or the same size as the LCP2? Because the LCP2 does not fit in the same places that a LCP will fit in.
There's a difference between the LCP and the LCP2?
Yes. The LCP2 has removable sights, but it's a bit bigger. Yes, the Glock 43 is, I think, a bit bigger than an LCP. Like, I think it's taller. And like when I carried an LCP, I carried it horizontal. So the longer the grip, the more it hit my junk. So the grip needed to be shorter. Even though the 43 grip is pretty small, it's not LCP small.
I'm learning things tonight. I didn't know there were different sizes of the LCP.
Yeah, I remember when it came out and I saw that you could put new sights on. I was like, oh, they fixed the problem. And then I saw one in person and went, oh, they just made like a Smith & Wesson bodyguard.
Yeah, that thing's. I mean, not that optics or like aesthetics of a gun should be a determining factor, but the LCP bodyguard was like the weirdest looking pistol.
Oh yeah, with the built-in fucking laser.
Yeah, I mean, it looks so...
build something into a gun. A pistol. I don't think a fucking laser would have been on my top 35 fucking choices. But
have you tried an Enigma holster from Filster? They use that instead of Smart Carry for tucked in shirts and whatnot. I haven't tried the Enigma yet. I know some people that speak very highly of it, though.
I have heard good things. My thing, the way I use a Smart Carry, it doesn't compare because the Smart Carry, it has that fucking pouch with a seam in it that's meant for the gun and a magazine. So I cut the seam out and turn the gun sideways so that the whole slide is completely behind my belt. So, like the big metal part that will set off a metal detector is directly behind my big metal belt buckle. So then the only thing sticking down is about 1.5 inches of the LCP grip, which I've heard a rumor of a hint of a maybe idea that First Wave made a deep concealment holster that does something similar. And unfortunately, it will never be pictured on the interwebs.
Well, yeah, we were just recommending a Filster to somebody. It was in class a couple weeks ago as a possible alternative to using belt. We met somebody that has trouble with wearing belts.
Yeah. Body shapes and dimensions. Mikey, yes, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different holster makers. I have helped them, or at least been there and went hands-on while they were making holsters. And now I'm 25% owner of a holster company where they send me the holster minus the belt loops and clips, and I both screw those on and package them up before I mail them out. But yeah, that was the one question, was the underwear pistol. Which, funny enough, the first question was your thoughts on a visible laser on a pistol. Well, I guess we've semi already broached that it wouldn't be the top 35 things I would build into a pistol. I would probably rather have a built-in laser than the Beretta logo.
I was taking a look at the chat. Ethan, I got news for you. He asked when we're going to Tennessee. As a matter of fact, what I did was I went to bulletin.net and just looked it up real quick because it's nice and I can look up a bunch of trainers there. So Tremis will be in Tennessee Saturday, September 30th for shooting and moving workshop in Enville. Is that how you spell it?
Yes, Enville.
Enville. And then day 3 carbine on October 1st. And I'm going to say that that's probably the first of many classes to come. I mean,
I'm hoping so.
That's at Keith's place, right?
Yes.
Good dude.
Yep, I like him. Text message from Excess Sites. Woohoo. There you go, Ethan.
Oh, Scott Wexler joined. Hello, sir. Ethan is here. Is that allowed? Well, we don't PNG people around here.
I don't even think there's a way to block people from getting in on the chat. So, I mean, maybe there is. I just don't know what it is. And you can go over to YouTube, so you can get on the chat from YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, maybe. I don't know if there's a Twitter chat because I know it's live streaming on Twitter, on my Twitter at the same time. But you can get on YouTube with a fake name and shit, like Monkey Fucker 69 and just post whatever you want. And I don't think there's a way to stop it. Brad, hello, sir. Oh man, a Tremis tat next to a Beretta tat. That's no. I think somewhere. Oh, I still have it. Where is it? There it is. Oh, here we go.
And at number 5 is the Beretta logo. That's a problem because in order to have it, it needs to be a Beretta.
That was from the top 5 worst things to put on a pistol.
John McClane would disagree. Just saying.
All right.
He's warded off terrorists in 4 movies while using a Beretta.
Indeed. Man, there's a question. Well, Ethan says XS needs to bring back the old sized white big dots. Well, on some guns they're discontinued. On other ones they're still in the to be discontinued list. I literally have a set of white big dots for a 365 on the way to me right now. So just saying, if you pick a good gun, you might be able to get it.
Reed had a good question.
Yes, that was the question that got me. I was like, oh, damn. That's a real question. Setting up a sort of fighting load, chest rig, body armor, etc. How much water do you think someone should be able to carry? Well, I guess it really depends on where you live. And I say that because, where I live, there's a lot of water in a lot of places. But I just taught in Texas where I didn't fucking see any water for 2 weeks. So, I could put a life straw in my pocket and always be within a half hour finding some water to stick that life straw in. So I would think with copious resupply, it would be easier than, living somewhere where there's no resupply. But so personally here, I would still say the easy ability to put 3 liters on you. And then that's with a plethora of resupply. And if I was going to carry a pack, I'd put some extra water in said pack.
Yeah, I would, because to me, I break it down to first and second line gear, right? The first line gear is just shit that's going to be on you. And I mean, this is a good question because, man, last time I kind of checked, I don't really have any first line water gear. It's all in a backpack or a secondary thing, which could always come off. But I personally, I think that 2 liters is an absolute minimum. Whatever those large Camelback sizes are.
Yeah.
Like that should be a baseline. No matter what environment you're in, you should be able to have 2 liters of water on you, like 2 canteens or one giant water bladder in a bag or a backpack or something. And then like more from there. If it's not that hot and it's like, like Gary said, good resupply, do you need like 4 gallons of water on you? Probably not. You could always bring the life straw, but I think 2 liters is absolute minimum, no matter what. Preferably in a thing that's easy to carry, not like canteens falling all over the place.
The water does not have to be SIG water, but it can't be Beretta water. Beretta only makes things that are good if you shoulder them and they have the capability of shooting multiple projectiles per trigger pull. So that would be shotguns and machine guns. All right, so let's hit some of these other questions before we run out of time.
We should, because we always run out of time because I always make you stay late.
Here's one. Thoughts on rattle canning your rifle. What do you think?
Oh, I'm a big fan. As a matter of fact, we've been chatting for a while, and I think we're at the point where we need to make a date on this of a rattle can workshop / study group.
I agree.
We did one last year, and it was awesome. We had a big barbecue at my house, and we painted guns all day. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great time.
And if and as far as like necessity goes, if it's a fighting gun, it needs to be painted. Like,
yeah, I'm all for paint them. Twofold. One, they don't stand out as bad in every environment except the coal mine. A black rifle stands out pretty bad. And if you're out in the heat, the gun doesn't get as hot in the sun if it's not black. So that's my thoughts on it. Aiden asked if you get a big turnout for fish in Ohio and you want day 1 to 3 class, like live fire stuff. Well, those would not happen at the same place because the place we're going has an indoor shoe house. I think they have an indoor range, but I would never purposely teach a cat class again at an indoor range. But I am certainly okay with the idea of doing live fire in Ohio. I should probably talk to Bob Lester about if he's got some open dates available. Bob's a pretty cool dude, so maybe we'll have to work on that.
John said someone may have a video up on painting guns. As a matter of fact, yes, you should check out Alpha Charlie Concepts on YouTube. John has a lot of great stuff on camouflage in general. Like I wouldn't say wasted, but I've spent far too many hours watching John walk around in the woods from different angles.
Yeah.
Just every time he gets new camo, like, all right, we're going to go out in the woods. And 4 hours later, I'm done watching his videos.
Those are my least favorite videos because I tend to watch videos while I'm doing something else. So I have to keep looking.
There's not a lot of dialogue.
All right. So what other we got here? Sling use. To swim your non-dominant arm out of the sling and just have it around your neck, or to keep that arm in the sling when shooting. So I'm a big fan of the least sling you have on your body when you want to use the gun, the better. AKA, if the sling is not, if it's stowed on the gun, like with a sling duber or just hanging loose, I would rather shoot the gun that way than with a sling anywhere touching me. However, I also know that it's hard to, or there's fatigue involved with holding a rifle all day. And I might want to use my hands for something else. So then the medium is over the neck. And I would not put that arm in the sling until I was either too tired to hold the gun up or I had to use both hands. And so, yes, you should be able to shoot with the sling slung as normal, because if you have it slung because you're, fucking tired of carrying it for the last 7 hours and pow, you need it, you should be able to pick it up and shoot it. But at the first moment, I would swim that elbow out of there and use it around my neck until I decided I could take it off of that too.
I am of the same mind. Like, the only just to play devil's advocate, because I've met some dudes that for a living like shoot people. I try to listen to people that have done a lot of reps with stuff. Is it possible to learn to use a sling with your arm in it, fighting from that position all the time? Yeah. I've seen people that are very smooth doing that. However, it has a lot of downsides, and not always a lot of downsides that people are aware of when they're trying to teach it, because I think a lot of that stuff also comes from a mindset of, oh, well, I've got a bunch of teammates here that can back me up, so I don't need to be as good at transitioning from shoulder to shoulder. Or, I'm moving so fast through a house in CQB settings that, I don't have to worry about being offside as much. I think it's going to be dependent upon what your needs are. But yeah, there's a bunch of dudes out there that live with their arm inside their sling, and when they use that thing, they use it as a brace. They can push that thing all the way out and then shoot using that as a stabilizer. I mean, it's cool. I've tried it. I tried it for a couple of weeks after I took a class where somebody taught it to me, and I liked it. But in the long run, the downsides I think were too high. Like, at least for me, I wasn't able to get as proficient with it as I wanted to, where I was proficient with, hey, I can just move this gun in my hands without having to get hung up on a sling.
So we're in agreement.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. What else we got going on here? Technique for walking or moving more silently. I walk loud. My answer is the balls of your feet. You'll also get great calves by walking that way too.
I would say don't walk on gravel.
Tom Aker, hello, sir. I have not heard from you in a long time. I'm glad to see that you're alive and kicking. Unless you pop in with some sort of fake name, because that might be the case too. But yes, it sounds like you need more practice shooting with your wrong shoulder. So I had an issue pop up a couple years ago. I pinched a nerve in my neck that to this day is still not right. But I could not hold a rifle, like the weight of my rifle, out with this hand. The pain in the left side of my neck was too harsh to have that much weight pulling down on my shoulder. So I did all my demos left-handed and a whole bunch of shooting left-handed because I could hold the weight of the gun up with my right hand. And I got way better at shooting left-handed. I'm now equally poor with both hands.
Especially because you're not doing any live fire this year. We know that your skills are going to absolutely degrade to nothing without doing that.
Yep, completely terrible. I don't have blue guns all over the house or anything.
That's sarcasm, everyone, by the
way. Clinch pick versus other fixed blades for self-defense. So, obviously, the clinch pick has a distinct purpose, the way it was designed with the sharp edge on the reverse side. And actually, there's a two-sided one out now because people asked for it. I don't think because Craig said they needed it. But I'll tell you what I think is awesome about the clinch pick. It comes with a pretty usable sheath, and there's a trainer readily available. Like you can just buy it as a kit with the trainer and the live blade. If the fixed blade knife you're thinking of carrying doesn't offer a trainer and some remote close configuration, I'd skip it. Which is why I don't carry a TDI knife because they made one batch of trainers. It took forever for them to sell. And K-Bar said, we're not making any more because, we made 1,000 and it took 15 years to sell them. So no.
I'm a fan of the clinch pick. I think everyone should have a fixed blade knife, but it doesn't really matter which one. That's the one where it fit my stuff. Like I'm more likely to wear it every day because it fits right.
Yeah. All right. Boots versus shoes for training. So like dress shoes, that wasn't very specific. I only ever wear, I think everything I own is essentially considered a hiker, whether it be low top or mid top. And that just depends on what I'm doing and how much shit could get in my shoe if it were a low top. So I don't really know how to answer that. Like I just have a bunch of Merrells. I have a lot of Merrells.
I'd say for training, like you don't really need anything special. Like, you should wear what you're going to fight in. So, like, I know a dude who does training in like skate shoes. It's not like it's, at least a lot of the flat range stuff. Maybe if you're going to go do some like hardcore outdoor training, like if you're doing a nav course, I wouldn't recommend it, because if that's the situation, you wouldn't want to wear those. You wear hikers or like hiking boots or shoes.
Let's see what else we got here. Thoughts on a light on your pistol? That's very ambiguous, or like a not very specific question. They're fine, but here is the caveat: you need to have a handheld light, because I use my flashlight. I put that in my hand a lot more than I put a pistol in my hand. I'm not just walking around with a pistol because I want a light in the parking lot. Leaving the movie theater on the way to the car, I will put my light in my hand for no reason other than I might want it, which I would not do with a pistol. And here's something to remember. That thing is called a handgun. It is not called a hands gun. So it needs to be usable with one hand. And like, I can't reach the light on any gun, on any light, with my dominant hand, like the masturbatory hand. So I either need to use it with the other hand, and now this hand is locked into operating a light that's only attached to my gun, which if I had that light in my hand, it still had a light, and I can do a bunch of other shit. And the other side is you can do like a DevGru switch, which is the pressure pad that runs under the trigger guard. But if you get a good grip on your gun, you'll ND your light, and a light ND is potentially just as dangerous as a trigger ND. So now you have to grip with like two fingers off the gun, the trigger finger and the light finger. So I'm not a big fan of those switches. So I'm not the biggest fan of the light on the gun, just because I need to run it just right-handed, and it doesn't really help you do that. Any thoughts on a light there, sir?
I'm a fan of lights on guns. I just haven't been able to find a holster that works for, like, as soon as you pick a gun, like, you find the right holster, all of a sudden you're like, all right, let me put a light on this thing, and all of a sudden it doesn't exist. So to me, it's more of like the logistics side of it, of, well, I'd rather not go through the hassle of finding all that stuff and then get better at the default answer, which is you should have a light in your pocket anyway. So what I wound up doing was just practicing more that way. But I do like, I think that it's a good alternative, or not a good alternative to a handheld light. You need that first. And if you don't have that, then you shouldn't have a light on your gun, because then, because you're going to point it at shit that you don't want to point it
at. Tom's got some comments there on the light on the gun with like the DevGru switch. The last two questions were rechargeable batteries versus regular batteries for use in important equipment. I don't like rechargeable batteries in anything, mostly because they're always dead. And then when I need to wait 3 hours for them to charge, that's problematic. So even if I have like a $15 rechargeable light in my flashlight, when the flashlight dies, I'm going to unscrew the cap, dump that battery on the ground, and throw a new one in. So now every time my batteries die, it costs me $15 instead of $2. So I'm sticking with 123s.
Yeah, I only use like rechargeable batteries when I have to, like if there's a radio. Yeah.
Or my radio, my laptop. Otherwise, I want to be able to put a brand new one in now and not wait for it to charge.
I can't even tell you how much of a cock tease it was the day I realized that the Yaesu VX6R had like a AA battery pack that you could put onto the back of it. I was like super excited. I'm like, oh, I'll just run that all the time. And then you find out that it's receive only.
Yeah, it doesn't offer enough juice to
actually transmit. It's like,
yep.
What the fuck? You think they'd be able to make something with like the modern lithium batteries, able to like broadcast with. Baofeng has a 6 AA battery holder thing that you can use to transmit. Yaesu can't figure that shit out.
Yeah, I don't know. I would actually be okay if it took like 12 of them, because the fucking the radio is so short. If you put a giant wad of fucking AAA batteries or double A's underneath it, it would just make it normal radio sized.
18650 is the way. I would disagree, Tom. I think lithium double A's is the way. Like everything should just use lithium double A's. As a matter of fact, even if it's small enough to use triple A's, I think it should use double A's. Like I can't even tell you how disappointed I was when I got Contact 6s and realized they were triple A's instead of double A's. I'm like, fuck, now another battery I got to keep on my gear.
Yeah. So 18650, I do see that on the 18650 battery store, you can get a Samsung one for $5. So 18650 replaces two 123s. So it's double the cost of two 123s, like $2 versus $5, a little more than double the cost.
And only rechargeable.
But I'm gonna, the moment it goes empty, it's going on the ground. Just like 123s. I'm not carrying a fucking pouch full of empty batteries with me. Just not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too expensive for single use. Ha! All batteries are single use.
My very specific criteria for GPS units when we have that GPS class that we do, like there's a small section in there of, oh, well, what do you recommend? And honestly, it comes down to one very simple thing. If it has a rechargeable battery, I don't recommend it. So like, all the ones with like the replaceable AA batteries, because in the end, I don't have a fucking way to recharge it in the field. Like that is the one piece of kit that you're literally leaving civilization with. And that's the only time you'll use it is when you're out and about away from outlets. So like the fact that most good, like really nice GPS units are only rechargeable is just so asinine to me.
Yeah.
And that's the way the world's going, is more rechargeable batteries.
As soon as they're as cheap as disposable batteries, because I'm still throwing them away, and I can just bring 30 of those instead of 30 disposables, fine. But I'm not paying 2 or 3 times the price to still throw it away. All right, we have one last question, which rolls all the way back to the very beginning. And a couple of people asked this. What all should you have in an IFAC? And I guess it really depends on how big your IFAC is.
Yeah.
So like my daily IFAC is now this.
Oh, that's tiny.
It is a Blue Force Gear elastic sleeve. I think it's for sling management. I don't use it for that. It's got a snake staff ETQ in it, the small one, and the elastic thing holds it tight, but then stuffed in the bottom of it, I don't know if you guys can see that, but like there's no light if I get closer, is a pair of rubber gloves. So that is my everyday IFAC.
What's the actual wording of the question?
What all to have in a IFAC?
Oh, okay. What all to have in an IFAC? Okay. Because to me, it's like, it depends. Like my individual first aid kit at minimum is a tourniquet. Like I don't like going that way, but like at minimum, that's what I throw in a pocket all the time. So if I have to, I'll run with that. And then I can, like, the problem is that there's nothing out there that makes as good of a tourniquet as a tourniquet does. But all the other things like bandages and like wound packing stuff, like I find that it's easier to do makeshift stuff with that than it is a tourniquet.
Yeah.
And you're gonna, like, the thing you need fastest is a tourniquet, and you don't want to have to like figure out how to make one. Usually the bleeding, the stuff can be done with like some pressure, and then you can like shove other shit in there. But yeah, for me, it's the minimum I've been carrying is this Live the Creed medical wallet. Got that from them. I don't even think I really changed anything in here. Like, it's got some gloves, some pressure dressing. I think it's got a SWAT tee, or what's the rubber tourniquet?
The SWAT.
I think that's what's in here as a backup. I don't plan to use that as my primary tourniquet. I always have. I made a thing in, like, you have some resolutions for this year. I didn't get to mine till about February, and my 2 resolutions for this year were to carry a windlass tourniquet on me at all times, and that snake staff EDC made it way easier for me to do that. And number 2 was to have a fixed blade on me at all times, and the clinch pick was my pick for that. So, like, those were the 2 things that I really wanted to, like, commit to carrying this year. So this is with me all the time, and I can carry it because it's small enough. And then, well, I usually have this with me too. But yeah, like, tourniquet, pressure dressings. I mean, really, beyond that, like, it there's other great things: chest decomp needles, chest seals. You know,
And like, if you were wearing gear, like you were carrying a rifle, then you have this. You're obviously not trying to hide your shit, and you can carry more medical gear on you.
yeah.
Which brings me back to our Axle Advanced. What is this called? Medical organizer insert. So here in front of me is my dangler from. It's the same one on both my chest rig and my plate carrier. It's made by YMI Tactical. It's called the SAC. It does have the ability to put a tourniquet on the outside. I just threw one still in the wrapper there to show that. I don't carry one there. But it's a pretty neat little pull-out tray. And when you open this thing, I don't know how well you guys can see. I have a cat tourniquet, Velcroed, that like flops out of the way. And then this guy pulls out. Looks like that. And it has a bunch of shot corded shit in it. NPA, decomp needle, 2 chest seals, duct tape, thin H bandage, Cheeto gauze, rubber gloves in my pull-out tray. That's what's in my IFAC. Plus the windlass tourniquet. And also in the little pouch in the front is where I keep another set of gloves and shears.
Oh, shears. That's a good one too that we haven't mentioned. Like, it's a great all-around tool for pretty much any IFAC, but that's one of those things. It's like, they're kind of, unless you have those really expensive foldable ones, that's a tough thing to keep with you in a pocket.
Yeah, it would not be a part of my everyday carry. Like, I know you shouldn't be using a fucking knife to cut people's clothes out of the way, but I have a knife with me all the time. I will not have shears with me. Like, if I'm wearing shorts, there will not be shears with me. I can guarantee it.
Yeah. I think the one thing that you'd mentioned there, I forgot to mention before, that like is the best thing to, and I think Jonathan kind of put this in my head, was like that hemostatic gauze is like, that's the stuff that, like, if you have the ability to add that into a kit, that's going to be better than any other type of wound packing thing, as long as you know how to do it correctly.
Yeah. So what I thought about doing, I have the same medical wallet that you do from Live the Creed, and I had a TK4 and a pair of rubber gloves in it. That was the only thing that I carried in that. Well, now that I'm carrying a tourniquet, a much better tourniquet, I'm thinking about taking that out and throwing in some hemostatic gauze, like a pack of that Cheeto gauze or Hemcon, Quick Clot, obviously. Putting that where that TK4 was and carrying that wallet and this in the same phone pocket in my pants and my shorts. I just haven't figured out if they'll both fit in there together.
Oh, yeah. Tom was at the live tissue lab. Says that the hemostatic works really well. I would hope so.
Tom mentioned that the a Rescue Me is pretty small. However, I have owned probably 15 Rescue Me's, and to date, I think 14 of them are are incapable of using the window breaker. Like they just broke being on a keychain or sitting in my center console. Like they don't, like you can just press it and nothing happens. So there's probably a smaller item for cutting like a seatbelt cutter, and then the rescue me, because the window thing is irrelevant.
Break and rake, man. Just take that thing out the old-fashioned way.
Yep, I'm gonna put my muzzle right through it, a pistol or a rifle. Oh, rescue me's don't work on tinted Tacoma windows. I also have tinted Tacoma windows, so good to know. That's all right because none of my rescue me's will break any glass. I thought they were the bee's knees until I realized that just sitting makes them unreliable. But that was the last of the questions. It worked out great that the IFAC question also came on the same day that Axle Advanced sent the pull-out trays.
Yeah, that thing looks pretty sweet. I might have to go to the Dangler at some point.
I used to do like on the right side, double or triple M4 magazine pouch with a pull-out tray in it.
Yep.
I like the idea of the pull-out tray because if I need to use the gear, it either needs to be on like a fold-out chest thing, or I need to be able to pull it out of the pouch. Like the ones that open up, and just clamshell and all the things are in the clamshell. If it doesn't come off your body, the only place I'm going to be able to get to the stuff I need is if I mount it like front and center.
Mm-hmm.
And like once I wrap it around a cummerbund somewhere, I'm not going to be able to see any of that shit. So for me, I wanted to be able to pull it out so I could get to the stuff, or worst case, which I know my IFAC is for me. But if it's somebody I care about and they need medical shit, I can take it out and it's now like a football. Like I can just leave it with them, as opposed to being like, all right, I'll stand here and not do anything while you dig through my pouch for whatever you need.
Yeah. Well, I found that it's a balance too with the tear off stuff, because I had an SOE small horizontal tear off pouch on my belt when I took the contractor class last year at TAC Response, and that thing wound up in the car a lot.
It tore off.
Oh yeah, like every fucking time. Like, and it could have been where I was keeping it as well, but like that has nothing to do with, like, it did what it's supposed to do. It was a tear off med pouch. So that in that situation is me not putting it in a place where it's less likely to tear off inadvertently, because I think I was wearing it on like the back of my belt, which is a terrible place for anything. But like at a certain point, you start running out of places to put you.
Yeah, especially when it's popular to have it. Like I need to be able to get to every item with both hands, but if you do that, you'll put nothing on your side ever. Mm-hmm. And like even with a pistol, people are like, I can draw my pistol with my left hand or around the front or around the back. Not when you're wearing a plate carrier.
So for me, I found that the nice balance was pockets or pouches that hold things, and then there's things that you pull out of the pockets.
Yep.
Like that is, because that pocket is like that's bolted fast. Like I have on my rigs right now, I have triple mag carriers. I think on my chest rig I have like an HSGI, so it's very open on the sides. It's got bungee. I wish it was actually more of a pouch, but that's what I had, and it works well. It just means that you can see a bunch of the shit, like you can see the red from the med kits and stuff. Mm-hmm. It feels a bit open and loose. But
there was a gear maker here in the chat earlier.
Yeah. And he makes good gear. He makes the Viceroy rig.
I've heard. I've seen it.
Someday that'll be a thing. And then so now I'm running like the Chinook pull-out trays or whatever they're called, and then it's also another SOE pouch, but it's whatever their triple pouch. I think they call it the Rallyman or something like that, and it's whatever.
A 3 mag pouch.
It's a 3 mag pouch, and it works great. Like to me, I think that's like a great solution for pretty much anywhere. Put a triple mag pouch, put a tray in it, and it fits most of a like anything you need in a personal med kit.
Yeah, I still have that on my AK rig, and then just the chest rig and plate carrier. I just swapped to the dangler because I had that space. I had the space below the magazines. I could fit something, so I used it. And then I could that spot where the med pouch used to be. I got to put my second radio.
Yeah. Yeah, you get lost in the medical stuff for sure. You know,
Oh yeah,
where to put it, how much you need. And then once you get all the stuff on your main kit, then all of a sudden you're like, now I need a medical backpack. And then you spend another month building that shit out.
I just finished packing a medical backpack. It is short one item, which according to UPS will be here tomorrow. And it is the class med bag. So it's nothing you would take out if you were going to go, worry about people hurting you or hurting other people, because it's red, i.e. easy to find at class.
Mm-hmm.
But that was its own adventure to figure out what was going in that. Like, because now the space was bigger. It wasn't what can I fit in a triple M4 pouch or a dangler. It was like, I got all this space. I'm going to fill it with back up. Like, what do we need? And there was times, at that point you're saying, okay, well, what about things other than, penetrating trauma? What if somebody is had a heart attack? Oh, I should probably have shit in here to help with that.
Mm-hmm.
And still looking at refurbished AEDs, trying to find one that I can take out the class with me. But at least now I was like, oh, well, now there's a bag valve mask going to be in there so that we can do breaths along with compressions if we need to. And just more stuff than just gunshot shit. Oh, there's plenty of gunshot shit in there as well.
Smart. Yeah, I like that. Mine was built more as like, oh, well, if shit ever happened and we have a medic, here you go, medic, take this bag. It's got everything to it's basically like a mass casualty bag with transportation in it too.
Yeah, I have a foldable litter in mine. Adam Hall says he likes the Dark Angel dart-sized pouch. Strangely enough, over on the Tremis Dynamics website, there is, under the resources tab, a spot that says known associates. And then at the bottom is a spot that says affiliates. And as of 2 days ago, we are now have an affiliate link with Dark Angel Medical. I just have not put that up on the website, but it will be up there sometime tomorrow. Now that we're not going to Indy, I can do some website work and add that along all the other cool companies that give us a little kickback if you have follow the link and have a cookie stored on your computer saying you came from us. Get our 3 or 5% or whatever the affiliate kickback is. But they were cool enough to offer that just a couple days ago.
While we're talking about medical stuff, we should probably pimp Jonathan's class.
We should. I don't think I have a link like handy to just. If only it was on Bulletin.
Strangely enough, it is.
But I can tell you if you take. Oh, you know what? I might have a handy link. We'll see if I can cut and paste that if it works. Ow! I do have a link. If you use the coupon code TREMIS, that is TREMIS, TREMIS, he'll knock $25 off of his active threat medicine class. He is probably only teaching 2 of those this year. That's what he had told me. Paramedic school is very taxing on his time. So if people are interested in coming up and getting what I would say is likely the best one-day medical class that I know of, you can save $25. And you get to hang out with all of us because he's doing it here in Bloomsburg. And no, I cannot offer all of you out there a place to stay because Jonathan is staying here. He is bringing an assistant instructor who is staying here. In fact, this room will probably have some cots in it because our spare room will have someone will be in the futon there. I think Josh is coming up and staying in the house, plus, me and my family. So I don't have a ton of room to squeeze a bunch of you in here, but it is in Bloomsburg. So you could at least hang out with us or you're late and sleep in the basement or something.
Yeah. May 27th, right? Is that class? I think there was only a couple of slots left. So if there's anybody listening that's interested, better jump on it like quick.
Yeah, I knew it was down to 1 or 2 slots, and it is going to my calendar. Yes, the 27th.
And the entire staff and family of staffs are attending for both Tremis and Bulletin.
Yes.
Like it is. That's how important we think that that this class is. So I always want to pimp Jonathan's stuff whenever I can. I know he doesn't put on a lot of classes, and it's a treat when he does.
I think once he finishes school, he intends to ramp it up some more.
Yeah.
When are we painting rifles next? Ethan says he'll make Adam get in the vehicle with me. It's a long way to drive just to paint shit, but
Ethan, if you want to get with me and tell me dates where that would be a possibility for the two of you, we will make shit happen other than just that for the weekend, and we can go have and do fun stuff.
Yeah.
That's how much I would love to see both of you guys.
All right. So, damn it. All right, Adam, hang tight. I'm going to give you a link. Just give me 2 seconds and I'll get it for you, because I haven't done the website yet. So I'll go get you the.
Dark Angel takes HSA for payment.
Yeah, I did not know that, but that makes it pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, it can be. Use that pre-tax dollars.
Copy. All right, Adam, I'm just going to paste it right here. If you click on it, I believe it saves the cookie for 30 days. And before 30 days is up, I'll have it back on the website. I know it's a big, ugly link, but somebody just ordered a bunch of shit from someone and made me a couple of bucks. Sweet.
Nice.
Like just a couple days ago. There's probably some way for me to tell where they spent it. Probably won't tell me who spent it, but either way, that's awesome. Funny thing about the HSA, and I'm not going to suggest anyone do anything that might be considered unethical or potentially illegal. But that my HSA card says Visa at the bottom, and I bought shit with it, at the grocery store that was medical shit, but like, how the fuck do they know when I just, run it through the thing?
I think they actually wind up relying a bit more on the merchant for that.
Seems like that would be the case, yeah. But does the merchant even know? Because
they probably get their ass handed to them.
Like, if they don't do it,
Like if they're accepting HSA payments for fucking, like, I don't know, allergy meds or something. Well, that should work. But or like cans of soup. Although, quite frankly, you should be able to use pre-tax dollars for anything that's life-sustaining. Why does it have to just be medical shit?
Yeah, like if it's healthy food, isn't that like medicine?
Who cares if it's healthy? I mean, it's all got calories in it. Calories are healthy, in
a manner,
in some shape or form. Like,
kerosene has calories in it.
Fair enough. But yeah. Also, I believe personal protective equipment can be covered under your HSA, such as Peltors.
Yes. That's what I have heard.
So you want to save a chunk of money, use that shit on your HSA to buy yourself
some compact 7s.
Sweet compact 6s.
Or 6s will work.
I mean, I prefer 6s over 7s, honestly.
Yeah, me too, because it has nothing to do with the cost that prohibits me from going to sevens.
Yeah. Well, I just don't. I think that they're overcomplicated for anything that a normal person would ever. Not that a normal person ever really needs contact sixes, but
Probably not. I like the no down leads. Or if you want down leads, you can just plug them in and go from singles to duals relatively easily.
yeah, that's why I think what is it? The Ops Core modular,
The
whatever
amps.
the amps, like they have the modular version where you can plug different down leads on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sweet. I can't believe that Peltor didn't do that years ago. Like, why is there still even a dual and single version? They should just all be able to do all of it.
So Adam says he checked on the Peltors and it needs a letter of necessity. Who do you get a letter of necessity from? Like, who would write such a letter? If it's a doctor, I'm all over that.
Yeah, it could also be you just need the right like approach for your particular work. Like I'm sure, yeah, from your doctor. Like, if you're a firearms instructor or you are an assistant firearms instructor, something along those lines, where it's like, hey, this is my job. Like, I need personal protective equipment for my job. They might be able to take that a little easier than just, hey, I want to use my HSA for cool guy shit. Is that all right with you?
Well, I know doctors. I would say, hey, I will comp you a class if you'll give me a letter of necessity for and they would say, hell yeah. What do you wanted to say?
Do you want some Vicodin with that too?
I'll prescribe them to you and see if your insurance will just pay for them.
Yeah. Do you want some ketamine with this?
Would that count as a hearing aid? Does insurance pay for hearing aids? Man, now I think we're contemplating insurance fraud right here on the internet.
Yeah, I don't think that it, like, there's a better form of evidence than this.
It's only saved in perpetuity.
Right. Yeah, it's in the cloud.
It's all safe there. Although technically there is no cloud. It's just saved on somebody else's computer.
True. More likely multiple computers.
All right, I'm at an hour and a half. Is that what you got?
Yeah, I mean, you're rambling on over here.
I think it was all you. This always happens when you're here.
I mean, there does seem to be a common theme.
All right, I am going to make a link for next week's live chat. And in it, there's still going to be a spot where you can ask questions that get answered later online. But I'm also going to make a poll. If I can make a poll inside an event, I don't know if I can do that or not because Facebook is fucking stupid. About who you'd like to see as next week's special guest. I'll put some names down and you all can pick. Sound good?
Sweet.
All right. So with all that rambling and question answering and bullshitting, I guess we won't see any of you guys at NRA, but we could see you here next week.
Very true.
You got something you want to sign off with?
I would just I implore all of you to check out Bulletin. There's a bunch of amazing trainers on there. New courses being thrown up there every day. Some of them may not even be live on the website yet, but like things like Praelectus training, Jay Gibson down in Florida, combat arts training, Andrew Stremsick. They're doing joint stuff together. We got Jonathan on there, bringing classes up to Pennsylvania. Jerry Nuss is on, Clay Howell was in this chat earlier. He's got, a bunch of classes on there. There's classes everywhere. Check them out, guys, because there's a lot of opportunities to learn some cool shit out there.
All right, right on. I guess that'd be the end of it. You all take it easy.